Hey guys, so this is a quick video to go over some of the basic stats in game, things that you may or may not know, especially if you're a new player to Black Desert and you're playing on the Xbox for the first time. So in terms of stats, we've got a couple of things under these headings. So we've got the fitness and the ability stats. Now the three that I want to focus on first are going to be fitness, so they're breath, strength and health. They may seem like pretty arbitrary stats, and to some degree they are, however they do have a little bit of a benefit to your character. So the breath stat increases your maximum stamina. This is something that's quite important for me as a Sorc, and it's very important for other classes as well. Now to improve this, all you have to do is run around on foot. Your breath skill is going to level up throughout running around the continent. Early on in the game, it's definitely beneficial to avoid getting a horse. As cool as it may look to ride around on a horse, you're going to want to level your breath stat as high as you can to improve that stamina. Moving on to strength. The strength stat is the strength stats increase by carrying either a trade pack or running around when you have too much weight on your character. So you need to weigh your character down first, the easiest way being to use a trade pack. Now strength itself doesn't give the greatest returns. In fact, at max strength you're probably only looking at about an increase of 40, however it does increase your carry weight. This is one of the few ways to increase your carry weight that doesn't involve buying the items from the Pearl shop. So if you're really looking at increasing carry weight without spending any money, this is something you might want to have a look at. The health stat on the other hand, this is important for all classes. Now this is something you can start doing right off the bat as soon as you enter the game. You want to increase this as much as you can because the health benefits are going to be permanent, and it's going to be one of the best ways to increase your health on your character outside of using expensive crystals. It's also the only way of increasing your health once you've got crystals in your gear and you've leveled. So definitely look at leveling the health. This is a really simple one. You just need to use a food buff every 30 minutes and that's going to give you health experience. Now the food buffs that most people use early on are going to be things like the Sutzi, which is the health, the experience consumables. Now the other foods that people use and those that are going to give the best gains are the calcium meals. So the higher grade of the food, the better the experience gain you're going to get. Now you can buy these pretty cheap off the marketplace, so 61,000 for a calcium meal, or a Serendia meal, 160,000. These are going to help with your combat stats as well, so they're useful when you're grinding. However, it's also going to then increase your health as a byproduct. So make sure that you're picking up those and using them as much as possible. Next we've got our combat stats, so casting speed, movement speed, critical hit. Now these three predominantly come from your gear or the crystals in your gear to be more specific. So things like the Egerian gloves will give +1 to casting and attack speed. Zeref boots will give +1 to your movement speed, and then you can get critical hit from things like the Laverta weapons. These stats are something you're going to want to max for your class. So at the moment I've lost some crystals in my gear, so I don't have max casting speed or critical hit rating. Normally I'll have 5 cast speed, 5 critical hit, and I'll be sat on 1 movement speed. These stats are going to be balanced dependent on your class, so wizards and sorcs at the moment using cast speed, and then you've got classes like your Zerker and your warriors that are going to be wanting more of the attack speed instead. And on your character sheet, casting speed will probably show as attack speed instead of the cast speed like you can see on mine. The fishing and gathering stats, pretty self-explanatory. You get bonuses to these when you equip a enhanced fishing rod or enhanced gathering clothes. The final stat to look at is the luck stat. Now luck's on a scale of 1 to 5. This you predominantly get from your titles. The Pearl shop item, the lucky underwear, also gives +1, and you can equip 2 of the crystals that improve luck as well. These can be bought from the crystal vendor in Calfian. I tend to run with 5 luck or as close to it as possible when I'm grinding, purely for the increased chance at rare drops. It's not a significant increase, however I do feel like any opportunity to increase my chance to get those rare items is going to be beneficial. So this is just a quick look at some of the main stats. We do have other stats on the characters as well. So other than those, if you go into your inventory tab and you hit right button a couple of times, you'll get your resistances up. So things like stun, stiff and freeze, and you knock down, you grapple resist, and you knock back and floating. Now, these are all resistances that can only be increased by your equipment or your crystals as well. So depending on what you tend to suffer from most is going to be where you want to look to get the resistances there. For the most part though, knockdown is the resistance you want to increase as much as possible, as knockdowns tend to be the most debilitating of all the status effects. So that's the end of the video, just a quick sort of informational video there for you on some of the stats. I know there's been a lot of people asking some of these questions and the information isn't as easy to find, especially if you're a new player and you're starting on Xbox. It's quite easy for us PC players to overlook the fact that these things are made aware too early on. But any other questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments section. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know I'm really active in the comments and replying to as many people as I can. So I hope this is a useful video to some of you out there, and enjoy the rest of Black Desert.